We are going live. Hey, everybody, it's showtime. Showtime, and I'm a giant nerd. All right.
Do. Oh, yeah.
Ready to go live. Hello, everybody. It's a dinosaur. His name's Rex and blah, 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 bloop. Do. Yeah! Tonight's live stream is sponsored by Paketo, Castle Siege, Starforge, and Blessed Dark hit Kickstarter October 15th. Hey, everybody. It's Chris from the Charity Board Gamer, and I'm super excited. I get to hang out with this lovely couple, which is I found out only like 4 hours, I think, away from me. So I need to drive out there.
Yeah.
I know we've talked about it before, and you all need to come out this way. But we have Matt and Erin. And now I always say it wrong, but is it Warmbier?
Warmbier.
There's yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's German for warm beer.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it. Maybe not the warm beer part. I mean, I like a nice amber bock once in a while. There was this amber that used to be made by Anheuser-Busch down, and they only had it made in the Williamsburg area. It was called Skipjack Amber, and it was so...
That's a weird name.
Oh, so good. It was by far... But it was a specialty brew. So.
But did you ever try it warm?
No, I never tried it warm. No, gosh, no.
I hear there are some warm beers in Germany and Poland that are meant to be served warm, but we've never tried them.
Maybe a Hefeweizen, maybe a Crystal Weizen. I can't do that though. I can't.
I'll try it if someone ever offers me one that's meant to be warm, because of our name. Like we would have to try it.
There are some porters or stouts that they want you to leave it out and get to about 42 degrees.
That's not warm.
It's warm.
Craziness. Hey everybody, we're going to talk about Love Night Nerd tonight, and we're talking about alcohol. No, it's always funny. Let's start off with this. Let's start off with this right off the bat. You can be a believer and still drink. It says in the Bible not to drink in excess or to cause somebody else to stumble. It does not say that you can't. So if you are somebody that's watching this right now and you're like, Chris is talking about alcohol, yes, because I was a bartender, I was a restaurant manager, I was a bar manager. And by golly, I would taste the drinks that I would make because I wanted them to taste good, and I'm not going to sell alcohol if it doesn't taste good. So
whatever your conscience permits, we say follow your conscience.
Exactly. But I'm super excited. Oh, whiskey, obviously. Yeah, that's definitely you, Josh. I'm not the biggest whiskey. Lukewarm Guinness is fantastic.
I don't know.
Oh, lukewarm Guinness. Okay, we'll have to try that sometime. So you all should come over. We should get like some Guinness out of a fridge and then just let it sit out for the day.
It'll be our next child's name.
Lukewarm. That's what my mom has always wanted to name a child.
Lukewarm. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm allowed to be wrong? No, I'm not wrong. I'm not. No. Now, Josh may be good at the games, but I'm not wrong when it comes to that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No. I went over to Josh's house. Josh from Meeple Gamers went over this past weekend, and he let me taste it. I think it was Bowie, which was pretty good. I mean, it had a nice flavor, but I was not in the mood to have it at that time. I had just had steak, which he made this amazing steak. The most flavorful salt-crusted steak. And then chicken legs that were smoked. And veggies. And
So
I
we
felt-
need to meet Josh, is what
Yeah,
you're telling
hey, Josh.
me. Hi,
Come on
Josh.
over, you close?
We
Yeah.
also like food.
Oh my gosh, yeah. No, we're having a blast. So it's nice to be able to enjoy that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tasted the buoy. It's not bad. And I thought it was good. It's what Irish. Yeah, buoy Irish whiskey. Yeah, we had a tomahawk steak. We split a tomahawk steak between 5 people, and we were full.
That's
We were full.
a lot of stuff right there.
Yeah.
That's a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was some amazing food. Yeah, we had a great time, and I love that experience. But yeah, for me, when I'm having something that's like a heavier protein, sometimes if I'm not up for it, I'll just go for a seltzer water to clear the palate or something.
We are always down
water based.
for
Yeah.
LaCroix.
Yeah,
Always.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, LaCroix's good. Oh yes, and I had topes, which it says topes, but topes. Have you ever tried topes?
I don't know what that is.
No.
Okay,
Ah.
think of it like, okay, how do I describe this? Think of a very tiny, tortilla shell, but with ridges along the side,
Okay, I've had more.
and then it's sautéed underneath, so it's kind of like got a nice crispy crunchiness to it.
Okay.
And then on the inside of it, you take like a nice fried egg, maybe over medium, and yeah, it's called a fat thick tortilla bowl, and you put, like, what we did is he put stuff from the night before that we had that was left over, and he like shredded up the chicken and he put it over top of it, and then I had that with habanero sauce.
Oh, this sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
We did
It was-
just eat, but it still
Yeah, that
sounds
sounds
good.
oh yes, and cotija cheese, queso cotija.
Ooh, yes. Mhm. Yep. That's
Yeah.
where it's at right there.
Oh, it was pure heaven. It was pure heaven. But yeah, so tonight, yeah. So we're gonna be talking about alcohol and food
Well,
tonight.
it's
yeah,
it's all around the
that's it,
table. Like we're all about being around the table together, and sometimes it's food, and sometimes it's games.
Yeah. That's right.
Yep. You know what else I enjoy is coffee, and you just recently have finished what, 16 years?
Yeah, almost 16
Almost 16.
years at Starbucks. It's
16.
It's a wild ride.
And
Okay.
a lot of coffee.
A lot of coffee.
So much
Oh,
coffee.
so much coffee.
Just send all your star points to me. I'll take
Oh,
your
I-
star points.
I didn't even
Yeah.
get any. Like, I never used them because when you work, you get free drinks. So
That's true.
I never needed to buy anything.
Okay, I need to get a second job at Starbucks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
free drinks when you work.
Oh my gosh.
Otherwise, so.
Oh yeah, hold on. One last thing we had. Turkish coffee,
Oh yeah. Mhm.
coconut sugar, steamed
Mhm.
milk.
Yes.
Josh, you're making me hungry again. I just ate
Come on.
dinner, so
Oh my goodness. Is
That Turkish
Josh like
coffee.
a full-time chef / gamer?
well, he just I seriously, I kid you not. He really does make you feel like, think about it. You come into somebody's home or you come to somebody's table, like you invite somebody over for a game night. You want them to feel welcome. You want them to have that ability to just be able to be comfortable.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of places, sometimes even at conventions and even at the local game store, you can go in there and you'd be like, I am not comfortable right now. There's this feeling of
Yeah.
and it's kind of icky, and you don't want to be there because you don't feel welcome in there and with a game store. But you get that chance where you can come out and be able to just enjoy, and like there's food on the table, there's snacks,
Yeah.
you're being greeted, you get to choose. Like if you have somebody over, do you let them choose the games? Like you have like games out for everybody to kind of look at, or how do you do it?
It depends on who we have over to play. If they're new to gaming, we usually kind of give them a couple simple options.
Yeah.
If they're more, seasoned gamers,
Mhm.
here they are. It's like,
You take a look and tell
What do
us
you wanna
what to
play?
do. Yeah.
here's some
And
new
they
ones
say,
I have.
and then all of a sudden they say Twilight Imperium 4th edition. What do you say?
Well, let me say, we don't have time for that. Get out of here.
Yeah,
Go.
no,
We know
No,
who we can hook you up with,
Yeah,
but
for
that's
real.
not us. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, no. It may, that's kind of what it's about. So I went over to his house. I mean, it was he's about 2.5 hours away, a little over. But I drove up there. Like I go out there. There's a fire pit's ready. Everybody's just kind of music's playing. We're just kind of relaxing, having a good time with everybody. And then, then the next morning I wake up to Hall and Oates. Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, 80s flashback. And so then we're playing games. And that's kind of how it was. That is a great way to be welcomed into somebody's home.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it is. So tonight, after talking about food, alcohol, and more food, we're talking with Matt and Erin about just their journey into board games, video games. If you've had a chance, you'll see Matt once in a while on Twitch playing some different games, some good, some bad, some horribly. And and then also there's a really cool thing that they do as a couple. Is it still on Saturday nights?
Yep. Yeah.
Still on Saturday nights. Now it's moved solely to Twitch. And that is their co-operational co-operational time, where it's the two of them just being able to enjoy it's kind of like almost like a date, where the two of them are just kind of relaxing. The kids are doing something else, and I mean that's how it is. And they play games together, and then sometimes they'll do giveaways as well of the games. I remember actually one of the games that you gave away, I got, and that's before we really got to know each other. Yeah. And that was Architects of the West Kingdom.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I remember that now. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was so good. Yeah. You had Hall Notes or George Michael. Yes. Oh, it was Hall Notes.
I mean, this soundtrack sounds right up our alley. So
yeah, it was good. But yeah, no, that's kind of what you're getting into. But yeah, so we're going to talk about games. We're going to talk about Love Thy Nerd, which is a faith-based organization that is doing something that a lot of other faith-based organizations are not doing, which is actually getting involved in nerd culture, making the love of Christ known to people in a way that is not offensive, it's respectful of other people's cultures, but at the same time, it's also letting people know that they are still loved and that they're cared for. And I'll give you an example of something that I saw where we're going to example of what the church is not, and how it has done some bad things for organizations like this. Is like, you ever go to conventions and sometimes there's people outside with it's like pitchforks and signs saying, Deadpool's the devil, or all that stuff. And you're just like, oh my gosh, like even Origins last year, there was people out there, and it was Gay Pride week for Columbus, and there were people out there just spitting shade everywhere. And if anybody remembers, Taylor Swift said, "Oh, that's awesome! You all are welcome." Yes, very cool. But yeah, like Taylor Swift said, throwing shade doesn't make anybody any different. It doesn't make them any less gay. And so that's something that the church should not be. That is not what the church should be. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about what the church should not be, and a little bit about what the church should be in regards to the convention scene, nerd culture, because there are churches out there still that treat Dungeons and Dragons like it's hellfire and brimstone. There's still churches out there that treat board games as it should only be Monopoly and nothing else. Oh, that's got demons in it. Oh no, we can't have that in a game. That's crazy. No Chex Game edition for you, sir. You can't be playing Sanctum. So it's like, but seriously, I'm going to say this right now to anybody that's watching that's faith-based Christian, anything of that nature, be open to this tonight. May this message about this organization be able to encourage you to make changes so that you can better love on people, whether or not they are of a particular faith or not a particular faith. We've got to be better. We've got to be better as a church. We've got to be better as people. And so we're going to talk about Love Thy Nerd. We're going to talk about what their whole mission is, and also about a convention that they've got that starts. Is it tomorrow? No, it's Friday.
There's
officially Saturday.
Some early events on Friday for some of our supporters, and then it starts officially on Saturday.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, so I'm going to let you all talk a little bit about yourselves. Tell us about how you met, because you're a married couple, and it's always a nice story. Let's have fun with it.
Us having a date basically on Saturday night. We have 5 kids, so it's kind of the only time. Hey, what's up, Matt? It's the only time that we can really, I want to say, get away from the kids. Like, they know they're not allowed to come in this room.
It's a regularly scheduled,
Yep, you all like stay in your room and to your books.
What in the world was that?
He's just breaking the new computer.
Yeah, it's fine. So we met in college way back when we both went to Anderson University, and Erin was an RA, and she was setting up roommate dates, and the date that she had backed out at the last minute, and I knew her best friend, so her best friend said, "Hey, you should ask Matt. He's a cool guy."
Well, he forgot the cute part of the story.
Oh.
We had met each other only like the day before because we were coming out of chapel and it just downpoured, like out of nowhere. And I jumped under the nearest umbrella and it was his. And he walked me to class in the rain and got soaking wet and was just super charming and super sweet. And I was like, I think that he works with my best friend. She knows him. She likes him. So I asked her and she was like, oh yeah, you should totally ask him. So I did. So that's why I asked you, because you had already been super
So
sweet.
then she called me and I said, yeah, sure, that's great. What was your name again?
What's your name again? Who are you? You can't even remember me.
You did. It's really bad at names.
But that was it. The rest is history. I
Yeah.
mean, we were together ever since then. We had a lot of fun that night. You were a total weirdo.
Yeah.
And I was very attracted to that because I also am a weirdo. Our weirdness collided. So.
And so now we've been together for 19 years.
Ish,
a long time.
something like that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. This month. Yeah.
Hey, happy anniversary.
Hey.
19 years married?
No.
19 years since you met.
In October.
Okay.
19 years ago. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
16 years of marriage.
Nice.
16, yes. Yes.
Very
That's
cool.
Starting to lose track.
Math, yeah.
It's all right. COVID-19 seriously has caused me to forget what day it is, what time it is.
Yeah.
I was like, is it the right time? I don't know. I've got to. I'm like, I know I got to do something at 7. What am I doing at
I set
7?
an alarm, so I was like, I gotta be honest. It's been a very full day today.
I bet. I mean, you're planning out a convention experience that originally was going to be local.
Yes.
And it was going to be there. I was excited because I was planning on hopefully being there and helping out. But yeah, it just kind of turned out to be something where it's like everything's kind of virtual.
Yeah. Now it's happening right here in this room.
Yeah, here it is.
Very cool.
Come on over.
Very cool. So tell me about video games, board games. What has been the video game that you have enjoyed the most?
I'd like to hear you answer.
Well, let's let you answer first. You got to give me a heads up on these questions.
Whatever.
No. I am the interviewer. My goal is to throw out the zinger
Okay, well,
all the time.
I can probably answer for Erin.
What?
When we
Me?
first got married,
Oh.
I had purchased a game called X-Men Legends.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Great game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we played through
Great
that together. And Erin just didn't have to think much. She's just button mash.
Don't say it like that.
In a good way. Like
It's a good game. It's a good game.
Well,
What is it? It's similar to it's Diablo for Marvel fans.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and like I always played like the secondary character, and so he would like follow the storyline, and I would just kind of
I'm gonna smash everything.
I would smash everything, and I learned how to fight and fly and like solve puzzles and stuff. But I had never played video games before. We did not have a game system growing up. I played like
Pretendo, yeah.
I had a Pretendo.
Yeah.
I played like Oregon Trail and Jeopardy on my big old desktop computer as a kid.
Yeah.
So that was the first video game that maybe Animal Crossing. I got into Animal Crossing before that.
The first one, yeah.
But yeah.
For me, like it's the Zelda games have always been my go-to games. Like that's the series, the franchise that like I love almost all of them except Link to Electric Boogaloo. I don't know. Not
Not a Link to because of the 2D side scroll style.
It was just weird. Yes, it's so weird. But
it is different.
I just couldn't get into it. I didn't. So I mostly skipped that one. But really, since the first one came out, like I love them all, and I will play them all again and again.
And our kids love them.
Yep, and they love them. So I mean, Breath of the Wild is obviously my favorite. That's kind of my favorite usually. And then Wind Waker. Wind Waker is just up there. I don't know if it's nostalgia for me, but like that just brings about a lot of feelings.
We had a Halloween that all of our children dressed up as different characters from The
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda.
Yeah,
and
from
that was
the
my
Student Series.
favorite Halloween
That was so
ever.
great.
It was so fun costuming all those
Yeah.
children.
Was anybody Tingle?
No, it's Tingle.
No, we had
Oh,
who did we
wasted
have?
I thought
opportunity.
about
Right
that.
there.
Erin won't let me do it because like the weird like red underwear.
No, I said you totally could. I listen, have I ever held you back from embarrassing yourself?
It's-
I mean, seriously, you've done a squirrel outfit.
well, and that's like
Yeah.
not even worse than it.
Yeah. Oh, who are you?
I was Colossus for
Colossus.
Halloween. I wore women's red underwear, and it was
and tights
And
and
tights.
painted his body silver. And it was
it was
great.
bad. It was
that
so
was
bad.
that year was
It was great, so great. I don't even think it was like for Halloween. I think it was just like
no,
a
it
costume
was
party.
there was a Halloween costume party.
It was
Yeah.
many years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are kind of that's my go-to game usually.
Sounds good. Craziness. Oh my gosh. Now I need to see. Put pictures up later.
We'll have to see if we can find them. Oh man.
Oh,
No,
we
no,
can
we
find
can
them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I know Aaron will find them. I know Matt's like, I don't know. Oh my gosh,
If, I,
that's so
if I
good.
could go back, I wouldn't have painted my body. I would have just been Colossus as skin. It didn't match.
Were you more into video games before board games, or did you do? Yeah. So what got you into board games more?
I think I always like enjoyed them, but I mean, growing up, it was like I'd play Clue or Monopoly or the Life with my mom and my sister, and like those are great. I love them; those are fun. But I think the game that kind of like slowly started to get me into more of like the board game tabletop scene was HeroClix. That's like a pretty like deep cut nerd game. Like that's there's a lot going on in that game. So that's actually where I met one of our founders, Chris Kowalny. Like we both had this love for this game called HeroClix. Our love for each other and this game blossomed and it grew. And we dreamed back then like what it would look like to love nerd culture. And it's kind of like where this spark of an idea for what Love Thy Nerd was. And that was
not 19 years ago because
Yeah.
that was our first year of marriage.
yeah, not 19, 16 years.
Oh,
Come on, Aaron.
Sorry.
16 years ago.
16
So
years.
Wow. Aaron's already making it feel like it's 19 years. Oh man, this COVID-19 makes it feel.
A long 16.
so that was kind of like the first game where like I was in it. I wanted to play that game all the
all the
time.
time.
I would sell plasma to be able to buy more because we were like, cheap.
I understand that.
We
That's
had-
how I built my computer, was through plasma.
Yeah, like I was
Yeah.
like, get plasma. Yeah, let's get plasma.
You used to try to get me to play with you, and I tried because I loved you, but it wasn't my game. Yeah.
So they also are in my closet over here, and I can't get rid of them. I don't play anymore, but I just love them.
I mean, do the kids play with them just like?
We used to play a lot. We used to play a lot when they were younger, but they've kind of like taken and evolved into like all the other games as well. So
Yeah. Are they doing a lot of stuff on the Switch or things like that, or?
they will play pretty much anything and everything. Even our youngest, she is 3. She will play if you'll let her. Like she picked up Link's Awakening, just the remastered one, and she surprised us. Like we let her play, 15 minutes here and there, and she like we'd watch her play, and she's like just doing all like you got to jump, jump here, and we're like, how are you doing this? So they'll play anything. Our oldest is playing through Jedi Fallen Order right now. He's really close.
Oh wow!
He's like he platinumed Horizon Zero Dawn, so he's in it. He's almost 13.
Yes, but they also love board games too.
They also love board games too. So they're
anytime we can pull out a board game with them. I mean, our 3-year-old is sitting on my lap playing on my team, and the kids are really into it. Our oldest only wants to play deep, long strategy games, but all the other ones will play anything.
How old now? How many kids again? It's
5.
5. That's right.
Yeah.
Your family is 7. You need to get a copy of Gudetama at some point. Have you heard of that game yet? It's a lazy egg. It's based on Sanrio. Oni Press was doing the comics and stuff for Sanrio and said, "Hey, we can make a game of this if you like." And they're like, "Yeah, sure." So they made a game, and it's just a trick-taking game for up to 7 players. It's perfect. Perfect player count. So
yeah, 'cause there's not so many.
I'm trying to think.
I mean, because our youngest is 3, she always plays with my team, so we're okay for 6-person games. But once you get past that, once she gets older, someone's gonna have to sit it out, or we're gonna have to play those 7 and 8 player games.
Yeah, and we're trying. We definitely use games as teaching and learning, and like we're I don't know, being able to think of like games our youngest can learn and, learn turns and movements and numbers. But then our oldest, like, we really had to teach him how to lose. Like, that sounds terrible. Like,
it's hard. Yeah.
It's hard.
It
Like,
is.
you play these long games with him and then he'd lose and like the biggest thing would happen. So like,
yeah,
this whole thing, like, hey, if you lose, like, you shake the other person's hand, you tell them good game. We learned that playing like quick, easy games like Love Letter, where like it's not a lot of setup, it's not a lot of build up. Like you learn to lose, and then you just play another one.
There's just
like,
less invested, so you can lose
So,
easier.
for the most part, he's gotten better. So just being able to use games as like fun and teaching has been really great for them.
No, I agree that you could definitely use these games to help in education. There's actually, I think there's board gaming with education. There's there's like a couple different groups. There's like game schooling, which is like a homeschooling / type of thing. But and then there's, I can't think of all the different Facebook groups that are out there now, but there's groups out there that help specifically with, hey, here's how you could use this, or hey, here's maybe a way that you could teach. I mean, you could talk about habitats using Planet. You could talk a little bit about that. You can use it in that atmosphere. You could go ahead and have some fun with some storytelling in like Above and Below.
Yeah.
And talk a little bit about multiplication with King Domino. You kind of can throw these little things in to help in that development, because let's be honest, sitting at a desk sometimes and hearing somebody go wah 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 wah, for a kid, that's boring.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. Even as adults, we can sit in a chair for so long. Like, I think that's the thing about conventions. Like, for us, we can sit at a table, have a great time playing games and engage with each other. But when we're sitting at home and we're not able to interact with those people, like head to head or face to face, it's just kind of like, it's not as fun. And so I cannot wait for all this crud to be gone.
I know.
So we can play, so we can enjoy this stuff, and so we can just kind of go back to, all right, let's play this game. Like right now, we're playing as a family. We're doing Pandemic Season Legacy Season 0.
Nice.
Yeah. It's so good. But I mean, it's set around the Cold War. So guess what? Guess what that sparked a conversation about?
Yeah.
The Cold War.
Uh-huh.
So we're talking about the Cold War. We're talking about communism. We're talking about I think there's actually East Berlin's in there. So we're talking about the Berlin Wall. We're talking about just like all these different things that kind of built up and happened in history. And it's so good. But it's just like we have that chance of connecting, and we have that chance of teaching. I think one of my favorite things, I know you personally, Matt, when you go out to the cons, you have a tendency to be teaching games to people that want to learn.
Yep.
And you take that time to do that. You don't do anything to impose anything on them. You just kind of spend that time with them. And if it sparks a conversation, what is the thing on your shirt talk about? And then you have a chance to talk about it. And that's how you handle it. And I like that, because it's not like those people that you it's not so much evangelism as much as it is approaching, respectful. Because it's showing respect to somebody else for what they believe. And if they want to ask you and have a logical conversation, which board games are really good for that, for having conversations with people.
And we say, like, what we try to do is, we're teaching games. We're trying to meet needs when we go to these conventions, like big or small or whatever. And our biggest thing, I bring a team usually with me, is like, hey, let's earn the right to speak truth into their lives, but we're not going to force it. Like, you're going to play a game, you're going to teach a game, you're going to listen, and you're going to be available. And a conversation might never come up during that.
That's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Like, you're now seen as a safe Christian. Like, oh, I met this person, and like, they loved me. They didn't damn me for X, Y, and Z. Like, we just sat there and we talked and we played games. And
that's what the church needs to be, because there's so many churches that are damnation and hell. Ooh, I said a word. Forgive me, people. No, it's like
But I mean, if what we
Yeah.
are saying, if our goal is to tell people that they are loved, loved by
Exactly.
Jesus and loved by us, love shows interest in other people. Love listens. Love genuinely like seeks to understand another person. And so like that's what we're doing at that table, like loving them by just getting to know them. Like you said, like you open conversations, whether it's about East Berlin or whether it's about who this person across the table is. But you know, that's love.
And through it all, like remembering that these are people and they're not projects. They're not notches in your Bible. They're a real person with real needs, with real problems, with real thoughts. Like they're not like you say these words now, I say these words, and we're done. All right, I'll never see you again. Like no, like really get to know this person and love them for who they are, because Jesus made them, God made them like with these, like with real feelings, like with real thoughts. So how can you be a real person to them and understand they're a real person too?
Mm-hmm.
That's very true. I think sometimes as a church, the church can be very judgmental. It can be very, even I'll give you an example. Somebody comes into the church. They look different. Maybe they're homeless. And sometimes you'll see those situations where it's like, oh, you can only sit over here. You need to sit over on this side. You need to be doing this. You know, you can't be in this area. Like what? Where did Jesus say that?
Well, I think Jesus actually told a story about just the opposite. Like someone healthy comes into your church and you sit them in the very front row, and then someone, you know, homeless comes to your church and you sit them on the floor. Like Jesus addressed that, and that wasn't cool with him, and so that's not cool with us either. You know, not at all. Yeah. And I think it's a church problem, but I think it's a people problem. You know, I think anywhere you have people, I think you have that. And I think I think that's why it's a church problem. Like, I don't want to just shame the church.
Oh no, it's not just a church.
Right.
No,
but it's there. It is there. You're right. You're absolutely right. And so we want to step into that and speak to that, and teach churches how to not do that. You know, like
so tell us about Love Thy Nerd. Tell us what got it started. Tell us about how it kind of been that way. Brian, awesome having you on, man. Love you. Brian Fellows is such a cool person. Great support. But yeah, tell us about Love Thy Nerd. What got it started? What is it all about? I'm going to pull up the actual website.
Okay, yeah.
So people can take a look at that, and I'm just gonna let you kind of talk about it. So here we go.
It started just there. We saw this need of this unreached people group, these nerds, these gamers, these, you know, outsiders, or at least they felt like they were outsiders, who had been pushed away by the church, who felt excluded, who felt like they were alone. So seeing this need of this people group, that just they needed to see the love of Jesus. They needed to be told that Jesus loved them. So we started about 2.5 years ago now. And we're trying to be people who go and reach these people who love these nerds where they are, not expecting them to come to us. So we started podcasts, we have articles, we have a website you're showing there, we have communities on Facebook, we have one on Discord. We're just trying to kind of be in all areas of nerd culture. And like I said, like earning the right to speak truth into the nerds this culture's lives. Going to conventions, like I mentioned, like that was a major part of what we did, and we've had to definitely refocus, and that's why we're doing a lot more streaming on Twitch and, you know, figuring out what else it looks like. But in the same breath, we saw that there was this disconnect with the church, because the church was oftentimes, like you said, like standing outside, you know, a convention, and they're with their signs and they're, you know, yelling and all that. So how can we teach the church to love these people and to not like just to push them away and like, they're weird, we don't need them, and how dare you, you know, do these demonic things?
Well, because even if the church isn't antagonistic, which some churches are, a lot of times the church just has no idea, because maybe the nerds are flying under the radar in the church, or maybe the nerds are afraid to even step in the door of the church because they went through the satanic panic. You know, and so even if the church isn't being antagonistic, a lot of times the church just doesn't know what to do with nerds.
Yep. So we're trying to be this kind of bridge between nerd culture and the church, where we can kind of bring them both together and have an understanding. Like, you all can love each other. You actually have real conversations. You can talk, and you may actually even enjoy a game you played. So it's definitely, it's a process, because you have a lot of both sides like stuck in their ways. Like, a lot of times this nerd culture sees the church as something they never want to be a part of. They've heard stories, they've been around people, and that's never something I want to do. So how can we kind of soften that? Like, even if we don't have these deep conversations like about Jesus and theology, like, I can sit down, I can play a game with you, I can tell you, hey, Jesus loves you, and I can listen to you. And from there, like that's the seed plan. Like, hey, there was this Christian who actually, like, they loved me for me. They loved me and they listened to me. And I've only experienced Christians who hated me for what I loved.
Yeah, I think that's been a big issue with what, and I talk about the church as being the people. That side of the church can be very hurtful to the community. Examples. Just currently, there's a lot of people that are on this. Certain people are supporting certain parties right now, which are causing more harm than good. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to say it. Gosh.
Yeah, we get you.
Yeah. But and they're so bandwagon, because that's what a majority of evangelicals are going for. And it's just kind of like, are you reading the words of Christ? Are you reading about loving your neighbor as yourself? Are you truly showing that? Because if so, why are you going this route? Why are you going with this person? And I'm like, so forgive me if any of you kind of figured that out and you're upset about that. Tough love. Tough love, people. Because let's be very honest. Politics are dirty. Politics are dirty.
Mm-hmm.
And gosh, to abuse the church, to sway them to vote for a particular party because of that party's quote unquote the religious right versus the evil left. No, that is just so wrong. So if you have that mindset right now, turn me off. I don't care, because I'm gonna say that right now. Sorry, it's just this past Tuesday I got to see some of this past Tuesday. And I still see people that are like, yeah, that was awesome. No, it was wrong. Somebody needs to get Samuel L. Jackson up there moderating, so we can tell some people to just shut up. So to be very frank and honest, we need to have snakes on a plane and just kind of have it go like that. So,
oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. I try not to be very political in my walk, but at the same time, when you see it being manipulated and when you see the church being manipulated by a force that's not of God,
Right.
it just kind of makes you go, why do we allow it? All right, I'll leave it at that.
Matt and I were talking last night about how, like, we don't want to be caricatures to other people. Like, we want to be real people to other people. And that's going to include our flaws as well as, our good qualities. But we want to be real people to other people, and we want to see other people as real people. And so, yeah, there's a lot of politics in this world. There's a lot that gets in the way of relationships. And we just really want to get rid of that and just know people for who they are, for where they are, and for them to know us for who we are and where we are. And that's the goal when we sit down with a game with another person, not to get to an end with them, not to get them to vote for our person, not to get them to sign on to membership at our church, but just to know them and to love them, because that's what we see Jesus doing all throughout the Bible.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's what it needs to be. Yeah. Thanks, Jesse, for being on here. Yeah. Jesse is amazing. Chicks Can Game. Great organization. Awesome. Jesse does this really cool happy hour thing. I think it's on Wednesday nights. Jesse, if I'm wrong, let me know. But if I'm correct, it's Wednesday nights. And she just got started with it on her Twitch channel. Awesome. But really good content. And sometimes you'll see a cat come across the screen which is fun.
We're gonna have to go follow.
Yeah, follow. Make sure if you are watching, please follow.
We follow.
But yeah. I think sometimes a lot of people say, "Well, you have to be Republican because you're a Christian, or you have to be. Oh, you can't be Christian and be a Democrat." You know what? I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a libertarian. I'm a realist. And by golly, if you are trying to manipulate the church in any way, shape, or form, you're not going to get my vote. Plain and simple. I remember he came to my university, my alma mater, and he spoke, and he totally butchered his words, and I was kind of like, dude, it's called 2 Corinthians, not 2 Corinthians. It's not like this.
I learned that in Europe it is called 2 Corinthians.
Is it really?
Yeah.
In Europe? What?
Yes. I just heard this. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and I was like, oh. I mean, it's totally not in America. That's very weird in America when somebody says that. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Apparently, in some places it is. Now, the person you're speaking about is
I don't know who. I'm not going to say the name.
Well, listen.
But I just have to say, that was shocking to me. I was like, I've literally never heard anybody else call it 2 Corinthians. And apparently some people in the world do. Weird.
That's craziness.
I know.
That's craziness.
Yeah. The things you
So, I
learn
mean,
from listening to podcasts.
in Canada and Europe, they say Z instead of C, which...
Well, it's true. And every time we go to the zoo and we see a zebra, Matt insists that we call it a zebra. Because
Zebra.
in Africa, they call it zebra.
Zebras. You don't say Debra, you say Deborah.
Craziness. This is going to be a whole nother debate. All right.
Conversation, but yeah, open that can of worms.
No. So we talk about loving. I mean, Christ said, when somebody asked him, what is the greatest commandment? Christ said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, and with all your strength. And really, in translation, it's your many muchness, much of you. So of you, many much. Which there's not really a translation that works in English, so it was changed to strength. And then the next thing he said was the following: love your neighbor as yourself. That means straight, gay, transgender, black, white, Asian, all different races, all different creeds, all different colors, all different beliefs, people. All different beliefs.
I mean, there's not a qualifier on that. Yeah, there's no qualifier on loving people. There's no qualifier. And you don't even have to agree with people to love them.
Yeah, I mean, it's so my heart breaks when you see so much hate. And so when I see a beautiful organization like Love Thy Nerd, and I have a chance to be able to interact with you all and see the difference between you all and what we're seeing so much of in 2020 of just hate. It's a breath of fresh air. It's a breath of fresh air for me.
We really appreciate that. Thank you.
That's no problem.
Super encouraging.
Well, that's why I wanted to bring you on, because I want people to see that the church is more than the hatred that so many have seen, that so many see outside of a convention center, that so many feel when they go to a gay pride parade. I want them to know that that's not the church. That is the people not representing what the church is.
You're always going to hear the loudest voices. That's usually what it is.
There's a lot of loud people.
Yep, there are a lot of loud people.
And that's the reason why actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
Keep going. Keep talking. I want to talk about this convention too.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I know it's something
that back to food. You want to talk more about food or not?
Talk about anything. I want to talk about whatever you all want to talk about. You've got this amazing convention this weekend.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
So we were last year. We had it in Dallas, and we met in person. And the plan was to be global this year, and kind of the same thing. And the pandemic happened. So now it's all online. So we have speakers from kind of all walks of nerddom, and you kind of can see them there on your screen. Anime, comics, video games, tabletop gaming. They're going to come in and just talk about how you can love and serve your nerdy neighbors. And that's what Love Thy Nerd is all about. So we'll also have play to wins, some learn to plays. We're gonna be streaming on Twitch quite a bit, just playing games, having giveaways, breakout sessions, watch parties. We'll have Q&A with all the panelists after each of their sessions. So it really is like a very full weekend, and we have events that we've lined up, and I mentioned some of them, but last I checked, we have over 50 events that you can choose from. You just sign up, and the best news of all of it is it's free,
It's free.
or pay what you want. So we wanted to make this accessible for anyone and everyone. We are offering like shirts and play mats and lanyards that you can order, kind of con exclusive, but like they're not necessary. So we just really want people to come in like almost like whatever you think, whatever you believe, and maybe you're going to see something a little bit different that you wouldn't expect from a Christian. Like we really want to train people well, how to love people well, where they are.
Mm-hmm.
What else would you say?
Yeah.
No, it's good. It's good because I like the way that you're saying it, to train people to actually love in the way that we need to love. Because a lot of people, people are raised in certain ways where we are trained to treat people differently and not love them the way that they need to be loved. Yet it completely negates all that Christ said in the Gospels. And it defeats the whole purpose of what the church should be. Mm-hmm. So I love the fact that there is a training aspect for those that are actually going to be helping and learning. So yeah, Erin, keep going.
Yeah, I think that there are tracks for everyone, regardless of your faith or your involvement in the church, but also there's going to be a lot of training for people that are interested in how do I do ministry like this. So we have Jamie from Satellite Gaming coming in, and he does a lot of teaching on how do you use video games in ministry and how can you do that effectively. We have Cecilia Rose, and she runs Jesus Otaku, and she has a whole session just what is an otaku? Because when we talked about the otaku at our church, everybody there, their eyes glazed over, like what does that even mean? And so she just talks about what is that, and like what are
and if you don't know, you'll have to tune in.
You'll have to tune in to find out.
Now I need to tune in.
Right, that's right.
Okay.
So we have like a comics track, like all of these tracks are aimed at giving you more of a foundation about why is this aspect of nerddom important, and then how can you use that aspect of nerddom to connect with, to reach with, and to talk about like real things that matter with people that love that aspect of nerddom. And then outside of that, if that is not interesting to you and you're not a part of the church, that's fine too, because then we have a lot of other things going on during the week, a lot of games to play, a lot of just fun.
Yeah, we have Manny Tremblay who does the art for Dice Throne, doing some live drawings. Mm-hmm. Like I said, watch parties. Like you can just come play games if that's more of your jam.
You just want to spend the whole weekend playing games.
RPGs, we have some one-shot RPGs set up. Like really, there's pretty much anything for whatever scope of nerddom you're a part of. Mm-hmm. We wanted to make it just. I don't like all the stuff that Erin likes and that you like, but that's true. Okay.
You don't like what I like? Thanks a lot.
Well, I like everything you like. I was just making.
Okay, good.
Yeah. During the pandemic, he did try to get into Star Trek, and he now at least has a decent level of appreciation for it. But it's taken 16 years for him to really give that a go.
See, us on our honeymoon, we were in a bed and breakfast, and there was a Star Trek Next Generation marathon going on.
Yeah.
So part of our honeymoon was Star Trek Next Generation.
Yeah.
The other part I'll let you figure out.
We watched what was Willy Wonka on our honeymoon. We watched Willy Wonka pop-up video.
Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah.
See, we stayed in a nice bed and breakfast. We got some Outback one day. I went out to the Outback. I picked it up, brought it back. We watched the Browns-Steelers wild card game, which was amazing because the Browns actually were decent that year.
Well, that makes the honeymoon better. That's
well,
true.
Because I'm a Browns fan and she's a Pittsburgh fan, and she rubs it in every time they lose. So it's
yeah.
We have a sign in our house that says "A House Divided," and it's got the two helmets on the side. So yeah,
that's perfect. That's great.
Yeah, she's a Pittsburgh girl. I'm a Cleveland guy. It's where we grew up. So, but yeah, no, it's craziness. But I know I love the fact that there's going to be so many different things on there. I haven't played. You said Dice Throne. I haven't played that yet. I've never played it. So
You absolutely should.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I will have to at some point.
The most simplest way to explain it is Battle Yahtzee, but that doesn't do it justice. It gives you an idea of what it is.
Okay. Where you can kind of designate where the dice are going to go for the powers.
You're designating by rolling, like you're trying to roll certain combinations to do certain damage. You're using more like currency to upgrade your powers, so you can do more powerful attacks. So yeah, and it's all 1v1, v1, v1. You can play as many as you want, honestly.
Street Fighter with dice kind of is how it sounds.
Yeah,
to me a little bit. Okay. Very cool. I like the sound of that.
We just got Yahtzee for the first time in our house. We've never had like just Yahtzee. And when we got it, the kids were like, "How do you play?" And Matt said, "Well, it's like not battle dice thrown." And I was like, "That is such a nerd. Like our kids are such nerds. You have to use like a random nerd tabletop game to explain Yahtzee to them."
Yeah.
It's not random to us. We're big into dice throwing.
No, that's craziness. What are you most looking forward to for this convention? Now, you've got so many different activities, so many different things going on. What is your thing that you're like, you are the most excited about this weekend?
We're going to be streaming a lot of tabletop games like later in the evening after the sessions are done. So that's what I'm looking forward to most. We have, I think, 15 games lined up in the next 3 days. And
also, it is really fun to stream on Twitch. Like,
it is.
When we have Saturdays that we don't get to have our date night and stream, I'm always a little bummed because it's just so fun to like. So fun. You really feel like you're hanging out with people, like having conversations. They're forcing you to drink a lot of liquid. Normal.
Yeah.
That.
I'm empty. So.
Yeah, it is really fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm looking forward to most.
Yeah, I agree. There's something nice. Like I'm using this platform, and I love doing this because I can click on them, see the different things. It's like, yeah. So, that was Josh earlier saying you're all welcome in this.
Yay!
So that's really cool. And then of course, Jess earlier said, "Hey, I'm really interested in this conversation because we're talking about some serious topics alongside because they need to be talked about." I think sometimes we brush things over, we gloss over them, and we just kind of. We're silent in the things that we shouldn't be silent about, and we speak up too much about the things that we shouldn't be speaking up about.
Amen.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's what it is. But yeah, every Wednesday night, perfect. So yeah, Chicks Can Game, really good. Jesse's just a really nice person. I have never had a bad interaction with her, so it's really cool. And she does a lot with T from Haba, and T is phenomenal. Such passion, such love for their company. They really do take a lot of pride in what they're doing, and I cannot wait. They asked me to help out with Spiel, the digital side of things. That'd be great. Don't get me wrong.
I know. Right?
If you want to take me with you to Germany sometime. I'm ready.
Yeah.
So my wife will probably try to.
You can just pack me in your suitcase.
Yeah. No. My wife would probably pack me in the suitcase, and she would go. That's how my wife. She's like, yeah, you just keep building up those relationships with Haba. Yeah, that's good. Keep doing that. That's great. Yeah, I want to go to Germany again because we have family friends that live over in Germany. So
nice.
Rita and Hedibet, they're this beautiful older couple. And it's so nice. The culture in Germany, it's so relaxed. Where the kids will go play outside or they'll go to bed, and everybody just kind of they don't sit around a TV. They're not doing so much of that. Instead, they'll go outside. They'll have some beers. They'll have some wine, and they just kind of do it as a casual thing, not in a sense of we're going to get wasted. Instead, it's more along the lines of hey, we're just going to sit around a table and we're just going to enjoy each other's company. And just kind of relax. And I think that's important, that's connecting.
Yep.
We're very fortunate that we have these board games that we can connect in that way. So it's really cool. So Erin, what are you super excited about this weekend?
I am super excited. Gosh. I I just really like to be a lurker a lot. I like to hang out in a lot of the streams and chit chat with people. So I'm really excited. We did get to see some of the speakers, some of the panels and stuff ahead of time. So I've kind of already seen what they have to say, and it is really good stuff. And so I can't wait to interact with people and hear what people's responses are to all of this information that they're getting out there. So I'm planning on jumping in on a lot of like the comment streams and jumping in and watching the Twitch streams so I can just be with people and hang out with them while they're experiencing.
Yeah, Jesse, yes, I know you would have dips first. I completely agree. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but if there's a chance, I'm going to try someday, either as a content creator or as doing stuff with the Charity Board Gamer, because that would be so much fun to get that experience.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah, so publishers, if you want to take me with you to Germany next year, I'll be glad to go. Yeah.
Right.
Chris is available. He's available.
Yeah. So, hey, me. Sorry, I thought Night at the Roxbury there for a second.
Yeah, you just need your phone number, just going across the bottom of the screen right here.
867-5309. All right, there we go.
Perfect.
Oh, craziness. But yeah, I'm excited to see how it goes digitally for you. I know people have been up and down about the digital atmosphere. Like right now, right now it's the Alliance Open House, and so that I've seen some good stuff, and you're seeing different Discords are open where they're showing games. Like I think tonight, Foundations of Rome, Arcane Wonders is going to be showing that, and then you've got all these other cons. And Gen Con I thought went fairly well. Just a lot of people had issues with the bubble thing. I never got to see that. I just hung out in a booth and I just kind of interacted with people, trying to talk them into playing Cloaked Cats, which is an amazing game. Yeah. And so, yeah, I will plug Haba's games. I kid you not. I will plug them in a heartbeat because of how much joy they bring our family.
They're so great. No, we do too. They're some of the ones that we recommend to people. Yeah. Because they really are. Like, they don't make anything bad. They're good.
I purposely put them on this shelf, so that way when I work the booths, when I work the digital conventions, if I need to quickly grab a rule book, I don't have to look at the digital. I can quickly look at it, like Fiverr Finden or Fumfer Funden.
Yeah,
so good, so good. And then of course, I've got Rex.
Oh,
this is my favorite. My favorite thing from T. They gave this to me. Working for them, they made it a point to give me some games and stuff. I said, I'll take a couple games, but I really want this. It's because T, they were so amazing. When I met them, they took the time to just show me Valley of the Vikings and talk about Valley of the Vikings, and they used the dinosaur to pick up the pieces and play with it. And I kid you not, I love T to death.
That's just next level fun right there.
Yeah, that is.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean that is how cool of a company Haba is. Like T is just passion, and it works well. And it's such a great relationship to have that with them.
It comes across.
It does.
Yeah. So it's how I feel. And of course, I love that dinosaur. So I think the next convention I'm going to be asking for more of them to give away as Christmas gifts to
that's a good idea.
To grown adults. So
yep.
Because I'm not going to give them to my kid.
Signature dinosaur now.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. Oh, so I want to say thank you very much to the Warmbiers for coming on, because this is a fun conversation. We got serious about some stuff. We got serious about some stuff related to faith. We got serious and stuff related to the church. And I think the church needs to see what the church can be, what the church should be. And I think Love Thy Nerd is doing that in the way that they're handling other people, loving on them rather than having picket fences, or not picket fences, I don't know what it is, signs and stuff.
Picket line, yeah.
Yeah, picket lines and treating people like they're different. Yeah. Because that's not how Christ saw people. Did Christ hang out with the Pharisees and the Sadducees? No. Where did Christ hang out with? He hung
Right.
out with the tax collectors. He hung out with the prostitutes. He hung out with the homeless. He hung out with the lepers. He hung out with the lame. He hung out with people that were not high and mighty in these lofty areas of power. Instead, he hung out with every man. He hung out with everybody. And he let them know that he loved them. I think of the same way that my mom, when she was alive, she would go out and just love on people.
Mm.
Didn't matter who you were.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She was the church.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
She is what the church should be. Love Thy Nerd is doing a great job of that. If you are interested, it's in the description again. I'm going to throw that banner up real quick one more time. It is lovethynerd.com. Super easy, super simple, great articles. There's a great one for those of you who are trying to bring Dungeons and Dragons into your church. There's a really good article about the understanding of God and creation
Mm-hmm.
and how it relates to the D&D understanding of creating homebrew worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a really great article. I really enjoyed that. It was one that got me enticed in what Love Thy Nerd's doing, because I want to do Dungeons and Dragons at my church. And so, and you know that people have that stigmatism about,
We do.
oh, you're fighting demons and you're blah, blah, blah. And you're like, just shut up. So it's like, seriously, people. And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, how do we bring these things into the church?
Yeah.
And how do we bring the church out to the world in a way that's loving, caring, respectful, comforting, and actually putting our money where our mouth is, where it's serving.
That's right.
Serving in the sense of helping the homeless, helping the low income families that need that meal for the week. I mean, there's a way to do it. And yes, it's going to get you out of your comfort zone, people. It's going to get you out of your comfort zone.
That's
But
true.
guess what? It is the most rewarding thing to see people happy, to see them have food, to see them have money in their pocket, to go out, to take them a meal from Wendy's. If you go to Wendy's, you can get rewards points. You go to Wendy's, you get rewards points. Guess what? You get free food from the rewards points. What do? You use the rewards points to get some extra food. You see that guy that's on the corner that's asking for anything. And he says anything helps. Sometimes they want money. Sometimes they want whatever. But if you give them something, it's something that at least can help.
Yeah, I mean, it says I see you, if nothing else,
Yeah,
you know. Yeah.
It's what it is. I'm sorry. I am.
Got some passion in you.
That's what the church needs to be.
That's what I like.
That's what the church needs to be right now in 2020. That's what the church needed to be in 1960s. That's what the church needed to be in 1918. That's what the church needed to be in the 1800s. It needs to be serving our fellow person, serving our neighbor.
Absolutely.
And the definition of neighbor is not the person next door to us.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that argument from some people in the church, and I'm like,
Really?
you're a moron. I'm sorry, but not really. But it's not just the person beside you, next door to you. Yeah, you should definitely have good relationships with them, because if they hear you getting at your kids or for misbehaving, you don't want them being like, oh, you're so mean. No, you want that relationship to be good. But gosh darn it, if their dog poops on your lawn, they better get their act together. And then, but neighbor is more than just your next door neighbor. Christ didn't say, love your next door neighbor by as yourself. No, he said, love your neighbor, meaning the person that you interact with, whether it be at Wendy's, at the hospital, at the grocery store, at the church, your family member, your friends, the homeless guy at the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Love
those nerds at conventions.
Yeah. And don't be outside of a convention center saying, "Oh, well, Deadpool's the devil." No, he's not. Deadpool is by far one of the most funniest and hilarious satire characters in the comics, based off of Wade Wilson, who was based off originally Slade Wilson. Gee, surprise there. Deathstroke, Deadpool. If you didn't get that hint, yeah, you need to read comics more. But
Surprise.
yeah, surprise. But yeah, it's just a simple understanding. Don't be that person. Don't be that person, because you're ruining the church for what the church can be.
Yeah.
And support organizations like Love Thy Nerd, which is trying to make an effort to negate what wrongs have been done in the past. Help organizations like that, because they're trying to go across that generational lining, trying to go across that generational gap, and that race and gender and all those different things. They're instead they're trying to be something more along the lines of what Christ was like from the teachings, whether or not you believe in the word or not, or believe in what Christ stood for. There's some great positive things that Christ put in an example, whether or not you believe he's fictional or not. That's up to you. That's your choice. But they're trying to take that and they're trying to make that into action. They're trying to put words into action.
That's right. Yeah.
So,
For sure.
Thank you.
okay. Good stuff. I love you both. You know that.
Hey, thanks. We love you too.
Anytime. I want to say thank you again for coming on.
Yeah. Thanks for having us. This is
Anytime. Sorry, everybody, if I went on a rant. If those of you who got offended, I'm not as sorry about that.
passion, and we got to see your heart
Yeah.
for people, and I
That's
think
right.
that's never something to apologize for.
I know. It's just somebody's gonna probably, if somebody even in the church.
We're gonna get some emails.
Oh, I'm gonna here. Email is thecharityboardgamer@gmail.com, cmgoodlet@gmail.com, cmgoodlet@yahoo.com, cmgoodlet. No, I think that's all of them. Yeah.
Oh, no Hotmail.
No Hotmail. I mean,
Okay.
I don't even know if our Hotmail still works. That's Chris and Beth 143 at hotmail.com.
Okay, yeah, that's the
Back
one.
from when we got married.
That's the one
That's
I'm
the
gonna
one.
email.
Yeah, email that one. Email the one that I haven't checked since 2005. But yeah, no, seriousness. This is something that I think, as I'm seeing 2020 happen, as I see 2020 happening, and I see the hate. I see the hate. And I see it not coming from I'm not seeing it from the protest. I mean, yes, you see some bad protest, but you see some very understandable protest. You see reasons why people are mad. People are mad for the right reasons. Here's the last part I'm going to say. This is called a mobile phone. For the longest time, we didn't know what was going on around in our world.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody finally videotapes it, and the crap hits the fan, because we need to see that stuff in real time so it can be addressed, so we can talk about these issues, so we can discuss these issues. Racism and systemic racism is still alive and well today, and we need to squash it. So people are finally marching and actually getting involved. And they're mad because they have every reason to be mad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I want to say that very clear. They have every reason to be mad.
Mm-hmm.
The difference now is we actually have the ability to see it alongside with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Our
if you
eyes
want
are
to do
open
something,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
And all we have to do is get up out of our seats and help.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Thanks, Jesse. Thanks. Jesse won't come out today. Jesse, you're always welcome to talk to me. You know I love you. So, yeah. But that's going to be it for tonight. I'm going to play us out in a little bit. And I cannot wait to hear how successful this convention is. I expect it to be in Louisville.
Yeah, sure.
Some people say Louisville. Some people say
We
Louisville.
say Louisville.
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 Louisville. You have to kind of slur a little bit when you say it.
Yeah.
All right. Like a couple drinks in me say it. Okay.
Exactly.
Louisville.
You're like a bourbon in. That's
Okay,
like,
a bourbon in. Gotcha. I'll tell you the one place there's was it? I think it's called like the Something Moons place there. I don't remember. It was across from the TGI Fridays. It's like a piano bar that's there in downtown, which is so good.
Well, I do know about a peanut bar downtown, but I can't remember the name of it. So maybe it's that one.
Maybe it's Over the Moon. Maybe that's what's called.
Okay.
Over the Moon. That's
okay.
it.
Moon.
Yeah, really good. Really good. They played Country Road for us, and I was like, that's so lame. But it's like they're playing a West Virginia song in Kentucky.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, it was good though. It was good. We had our we had a bartenders competition for our bartenders, and we took our best bartenders over there, and they're all flipping bottles. Remember the movie Cocktail? They're flipping bottles and stuff. Yeah, they actually still do that at a lot of restaurants still. So
that's
very cool. Yeah,
go to those restaurants.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, we've never seen it before.
Oh, I've tried to flip bottles. It's a good thing that I usually flip plastic ones.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, everybody, we're gonna say goodnight. I want to say thank you again to Love Thy Nerd for coming on, Erin and Matt. Just if you're interested in just getting to know a little bit more about the organization, check out lovethynerd.com. And then also, if you are interested in having just a discussion, let's say that you're not of a particular faith, or maybe you are of the church, and you just want to talk to them and just kind of get to know a little bit more about the organization, or if you want to have a theological discussion, it's okay. I'll tell you right off the bat, I don't know all the answers. They're not going to know all the answers. But we do know that one thing. We love you. We love you. It's very simple.
Yep.
Because if we knew all the, I can't even fathom all the answers. I mean, you have kids asking you questions left and right. And I'm just like, go ask your mom. So,
That's your dad.
Yeah. All right. But I want to say thank you again. I hope everybody has a great night. And I will see y'all later. Bye.
Bye.
We'd like to also thank The Op for sponsoring tonight's live stream. One of our favorite games for them currently is Hues and Cues, which is in